name's Kevin, and I am a rideshare driver. And I wanted to share what it's like here in the city of Portland. And I say that because I think from what I've observed, every city is different. So you can't compare every city to one another fairly, because they're all different. Right now I'm passing the airport, and the airport is actually very close to my house in Vancouver, Washington. And having an international airport next to me, very close, is very, very helpful for this kind of work. Some cities don't have that. You have to drive hours, or there's always bad traffic around your airport, and it's a pain in the tush to get to all the time. But this one is actually traffic free usually, and very close to my house. So things like that help you in your area. So today I'm headed over to get my inspection renewed, my vehicle inspection, and I think it's a $25 charge each time for that. And I think they charge you a little bit more if you need a fire extinguisher and a first aid kit. But I already have mine from the first inspection. So I'm doing that. I think the inspection lasts for a year. Well, actually more than a year, because I've been driving just over a year. I don't know what number they pick arbitrarily for getting your vehicle inspection renewed. But I've been driving for over a year, and they're just now telling me to get it renewed. So who knows? I don't know what the limit is. But they have so many places to choose from. One place had a waiting list, so I just called around and found one that didn't have a waiting list. You could just drive up and show up. So I'm going out there now. It's about 10 minutes from my house on the Oregon side of the border, which is good because there's no sales tax. On my side of the border, I'm watching their sales tax. So yeah, I'm doing that. Oh, there's someone standing on the freeway. Looks like, crazy man is trying to cross the freeway. That's very Portland. Every time I drive in the city of Portland, I am concerned with the people I see in the street, whether it's normal people or mentally ill folks, homeless population, drug addicts. The regular folks walking the street like they own it. They don't even check for traffic. They just step out into the traffic in the dark, wearing all black with their hoodies up and earbuds in. And they just step out, assuming that they're a beacon of light and everybody can see them. When in fact, all they are is a very hard to see black shadow in the bushes. The homeless community is very unpredictable. I've almost saw a guy get hit by a train. I've seen guys standing in the freeway. I've seen guys riding bicycles on the freeway. I'm seriously concerned all the time about hitting pedestrians. I God forbid. I hope that never happens. But it's a very huge problem in this city. It's a huge problem. It's just terrible. Anyway, headed out east in the 84 to get my inspection. I enjoy very much driving rideshare. It was started off as a part-time job, and then turned into a full-time job when I saw how much money I was making. I'll throw out some numbers and just be warned, I am not an organized person. I am not financially savvy. I'm not that guy. I am kind of a big picture person, an idea guy. I'll just say, on average, I don't even know this is officially the average, but I usually make, right now my average is probably dropped. I'll say my average per shift is about $170. That's my average. Sometimes I make more. Some night I've made up as much as $400 a shift, and I've made as little as $100 a shift. And I work anywhere between, and this is also varies very much, 4 hours to 12 hours. We had an ice storm that was paying so much. I was making so much money. I was working 12-hour shifts because they were throwing money at me. I was making up to $500 a shift during the ice storm. But yeah. So then my expenses come in. I think, I just was thinking about this the other day. I forgot the number actually. And it's a big variation in my head. I believe I pay up to $800 a month in fuel, gas. I think. Yeah, I think I pay that much. I drive a... Oh, this is important. What do you drive? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of the rideshare drivers are Tesla fans. I also think I'm a Tesla fan. I love the product, I think. I've never driven one. I've ridden in them, but I've never driven one. The biggest complaint I hear from their drivers is range anxiety. They're afraid their battery's gonna run out while they're driving, while they're working. I see them lined up at 15, 20 cars deep waiting for the chargers at the airport. So there's a huge waste of time for charging. It really cuts into their profit, but they have zero fuel costs and almost zero maintenance. And fuel and maintenance are huge. Fuel is my biggest expense. So I guess win-win. I don't know. And who else? They love Priuses. Drivers are Prius fans, and then drivers, it seems like in my area at least, drivers just drive the car they like, or they're driving their family car, using it for Lyft. I'm kind of critical of that. When I first started, I was using a Toyota Highlander with that tiny third row, which is a joke. I don't think the rideshare platform should call third row SUVs, mid-size ones, XL. That's the category they put them in. They're not XL. They're actually super small in back. In fact, the back seat's almost too small for adults. They should call them mediums or something. They shouldn't call them XLs. And when you put the back seat up, you can't hardly carry any luggage, so they're terrible for the airport. Anyway, that's my soapbox for that. I asked riders what was their favorite car to ride in general for Lyft, and the answer that came up over and over and over again was the minivan. Riders tend to love to be riders in a minivan. If they have lots of luggage, they have lots of people, they just love it. And I get it. It makes sense. I have never at the airport not had enough room, but I have seen multiple times drivers canceling rides because they can't fit the people in the bags. Dude, I've seen people, one or two people getting into a Prius, and the Prius can't even fit their bags. Just for two people. I think I'm spitting, sorry. Tell me the news, not the weather. Getting excited. Swallow. So, yeah, I'm not dogging on people. Sometimes you just, like the whole thing, you go to war with the army you got. People, that's the car they have, and that's what they're using. They're saving money on gas, that's for sure. They get almost double, or more than double of the fuel economy that I get. So that's the downside of my car. I got a 2021 Pacifica, Chrysler Pacifica minivan. It's an old Enterprise rental car. Was in pretty good shape. It looks brand new still. But I only get max right now. My MPG is saying 24 miles per gallon because I took that trip to Salem last night. I was on the freeway a lot. But around the city, it gets down to 19 miles per gallon sometimes. So gas is expensive and my biggest expense. So that's my downside. But I get to do XL and XL, real XL, like it's really extra large, extra big people and extra big groups and extra luggage. I can do it all. And I do regular Lyft too. So one person hops in. That's funny because a lot of riders kind of make comments like, oh, wow, this big minivan just for me. It's like, okay, really? Have you seen a city bus lately? I see those things driving around all the time with one person in them. Don't complain about me picking you up in a minivan when public transit is the model of driving a huge bus and hope it gets, one person in it, when it's not rush hour. So anyway, that's a weird ad. People, I think, have that green mentality where they're like, oh, this is kind of a waste. It's like, look around. Bus, my one word, bus. Look at a bus. Anyway, sorry, a lot of soapbox moments for me. So yeah, Chrysler Pacifica, 2021. Put a lot of miles. I forget how much I do a day. But when I bought it a year ago, it had 60,000 miles and some change on it. Today it has 115,000 miles on it, and I just been driving over a year. So you pack on the miles. That's another thing. I feel bad for drivers who are driving their dream car or driving their family car. This job will destroy a car in a few years. I mean, especially if you're really hustling, if you're doing 12-hour shifts, you will destroy a car in a couple years. Even if you're doing all the maintenance, I don't care what you're driving. The thing will be a rattle trap in about 3 years, probably, if you did full time. I guess maybe 4. Toyota, if it's a 4 years. So I don't expect to be driving this vehicle very much longer. I'm thinking hopefully 1 more year full time, and then I'll start to quickly look for my options for my next vehicle if I decide to keep doing this. What else? Yeah, interesting. Oh, I get this question a lot. Can I sit in the passenger seat? Riders want to know if they can sit in the passenger seat. For me, heck yeah, usually. 99.9% of the time, I don't mind when someone sits in the front seat. It's like, don't make it weird. If I'm driving you a block or something and you have to sit in the front seat and it's just you, sure. But dang, if I'm driving like a half an hour with you hanging shotgun and there's no one else in the car, kind of weird. It's like, why did you have to sit up here? I guess some people maybe are car sick, or they just like the view from the front seat, or the front seats are more comfortable. I don't know. But goodness. The rule of thumb, if you're hopping into a rideshare, is if you see the front seat pulled forward, lean forward in an awkward position, or I just pulled in this parking lot. It is insane. This is a car dealership. He sells trucks. Okay. Anyway. This is where I'm supposed to be getting my inspection. Oh, I think I found it. Here we are. So I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm in the parking lot here. Sorry, that took a lot of my brain energy to figure out this parking lot. What was I on? Oh, sitting in the front seat. So if the driver has the front seat tilted forward and leaned up, he doesn't want you to sit in the front seat. I think this is a holdover from COVID. Also, a lot of the drivers, I'm just going to say it, are Muslim, and they don't want strange women next to them, sitting next to them probably. They want to keep that distance. They don't want any weird vibes because they're religious. I'm sorry if that offended anybody, but that's my observation. It seems quite obvious, actually. A huge population of the drivers, at least in this city, are Muslims from all over the world. Middle Eastern, African, all sorts of guys. Anyway, so yeah, front seat. Can you sit in the front seat? If the front seat doesn't have stuff in it and it's sitting in a normal position, the driver is signaling, yeah, it's fine. But don't sit up there if it's just you. That's just kind of weird, you know? But if it's a bunch of you and you just want to sit in the front, or you're a really tall guy, go ahead. That's usually cool. Oh, and dogs. Oh gosh, don't get me started on dogs. To be continued.